Silence in childhood can echo loudly in adulthood, not as a scream, not as an explosion of emotion, but as a quiet, persistent whisper. Am I enough? Do I deserve to be seen? Are my needs too much? A child who grows up ignored does not always become fragile. Often, they become strong, too strong. They learn to stand before they feel safe. They learn to survive before they learn to trust. They learn to give before they ever truly receive. From the outside, they may look independent, calm, or even successful. But inside, there is still a child waiting to be acknowledged, waiting to be heard, waiting to be noticed. Psychology tells us that neglect is not only about what was not given, it is about what was planted inside that child. Not just a lack of attention, but beliefs that took root deep in the mind. Maybe I am not that important. Maybe I must always try harder. Maybe love must be earned. And these beliefs follow them into friendships, relationships, careers, and the way they treat themselves. They become great listeners but rarely speak. They become generous givers but rarely ask for help. They become keen observers yet often lose themselves in the process. Some chase attention anxiously, others avoid it completely. Different behaviors, but the same root. The fear of being ignored. Again, the fear that love will disappear. Yet, beneath this pain, something beautiful exists. Ignored children often grow into deeply empathetic adults. They understand pain without explanation. They sense loneliness before words are spoken. They notice the people others overlook because they were once overlooked too. And this is their quiet strength. Because even though they were raised in silence, many of them refuse to carry that silence forward. They choose to listen. They choose to be present. They choose to see those who feel invisible. But before they can fully see others, they must learn to see themselves. Healing does not begin with perfection. Healing begins with recognition. With the courage to say, what happened to me was real. My feelings are valid. My needs are not a burden. Healing often starts small, celebrating a small success instead of dismissing it. Saying, I need help without shame. Daring to say, I feel hurt instead of swallowing the pain. Giving themselves permission to feel, to need, to want. Each time they speak and are heard, their brain learns safety. Each time they set a boundary and it is respected, their heart learns trust. Each moment of healthy connection slowly wears down old wounds. And gradually, they realize something powerful. They do not have to shrink to be loved. They do not have to disappear to be accepted. They do not have to prove their worth to deserve attention. Neglect shaped them, but it does not define them. Many of them eventually find their voice. They learn to speak. They learn to set boundaries. They learn that they deserve to be heard. They stop waiting to be seen and start seeing themselves. And when that happens, something shifts. They do not only heal themselves, they break a cycle. They become more present parents, more emotionally aware friends, more honest and secure partners. Their healing spreads beyond them. If you were that child, if you ever felt invisible, if you ever sat alone wishing someone would notice, you listened carefully. Your feelings were never too much. Your needs were never weakness. Your pain was never imagined. You mattered then, and you matter now. Healing is not about erasing the past. It is about changing how you see it and how you see yourself. Not through the eyes of neglect, but through the eyes of compassion. Because in the end, the child who was ignored often becomes the adult who refuses to ignore others. And in that choice, imperfect, messy, but brave, they discover a deep truth. They were never truly invisible. They were simply learning how to finally see themselves.